Hi, Chevra. This is Baruch Levine. I met many of you at the retreats of Fresh Start, and I wanted to maybe share with you some thoughts that I have as I myself am preparing for Yontif, for the Yontif of Pesach. Just like Yontif of Pesach is Manche Risenu, it's a time of freedom. On a national level, it's true even on an individual level. And just as the Yidden in Mitzrayim were a nation that were broken, we too sometimes, some of us come to the Seder table carrying heavy burdens of anxiety and grief and misfortune. Sometimes Yontif brings to mind a flood of history that's not pleasant at all. And sometimes it invokes a sensation that we wish things could and should have been different, and that life didn't turn out the way we would have written the script. But as Yaakov Avinu said, Vayar Yaakov ki yesh shever b'Mitzrayim, shever not only means sustenance, it means breaking, the breaking of Mitzrayim, of Mitzarim, of our boundaries. Now those boundaries could be perceived or be actual, but our perception is always the truth, at least to us. So Pesach has in it the powerful Zman Cheresenu, that it gives us the chance to liberate ourselves from the boundaries of our personalities that sometimes smother us and oppress us. You know, statistically, we know Pesach is the most observed Yontif by the Yidden. I think the reason for that is that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is giving his people an opportunity to get on the bandwagon and again become, as the Army used to say for so many years, be all that you could be. You know, there's a story about perceived boundaries. I'm sure until 70 years ago, no one ever ran the mile under 4 minutes. Doctors would say that a person's heart would explode if in his chest if it happened. Until a runner by the name of Roger Bannister did it in 1954. Interestingly enough, he only held the record for the shortest amount of time, only 46 days. And then someone else broke it, and somebody else broke it, and somebody else broke it many times. By the way, the record today is 3 minutes and 44 seconds. But we see that boundaries and borders, constrictions can change. Pesach, the Yontif of freedom has that power and gives us the ability to overcome challenges. I'm sure we're not going to be able to beat Roger Bannister because we have to accept the script that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wrote for us, but he wants what's good for us. And with an Amun in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, as the Yidden did 3,000 years ago, the strength of our spirit as B'nai Malachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants us to be the best that we could be. There is an amazing dominant power that we have and it's, I think, sometimes underutilized, and that is the power of imagination. Hashem asks us to use our imagination to remember certain historical events, like remembering the evilness of Amalek and what they did to us. We have to remember the holiness and the messages of Shabbos, and we remember the glorious giving of the Torah to a chosen nation. On Pesach, we have a different obligation. It's to imagine Chayav Adam Liros Esatzmo Ki'ilu Hu Yotzim Mitzrayim. And this possibly could be the most difficult mitzvah on Pesach night, among all the other mitzvahs of the Seder night. It's difficult to imagine us being let out of Mitzrayim. Rabbi Dessler, though, says that a person who was not yet successful in his quest for a personal freedom internally can, during this special time of Zman Cheresenu, if he at least contemplates about what his world would look like without the tensions of one's challenges, he can gain a lot. To imagine the goals, the plateaus of a new free life, and to reflect on what could be. Thinking and imagining about the greatness of man and his potential can shed light on our darkness. So we know that the redemption that we're all looking forward to will mimic the Geula of Mitzrayim. And just like in Mitzrayim, Yidden cared for one another, Like the Rebbeinu Shalom says, "V'gamani shamati es nakas b'nei Yisrael." What's v'gamani shamati? I also heard. Chassam Sofer says, "V'gamani shamati" means I also heard, because other Yidden heard not only that they had pain and they were tortured, but they heard their brothers and their sisters' pain. The message obviously is that we have to have achdus, and through all our own difficulties, we must be attuned to the difficulties of others. And people who are able to be sensitive to others are happier generally and bigger people. I wish you all a Chag Kosher v'Sameach, and I hope that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will bless us all to be all that we could be. Take care of yourselves. Try to find happiness in your lives. And I hope that we see each other at Simchas. Have a wonderful Yontif.